I haven't used my watercolor pencils or a Santorini stone in quite a while, so let's pull those out and make a cute rainbow heart design. I'm starting out here by picking out some basic rainbow colors, and I'm just going to draw on the hearts, one with each color, kind of overlapping onto each other. So you're gonna see red, orange, yellow, blue, green, all the way over till purple and pink. I'm basically just lining out the design to give myself a guide, and then I'm going to come back through and color them. So the nice thing about the watercolor pencils is you have the same kind of control that you would have holding a pen or a pencil, which is great. Watercolor pencils are softer than a regular colored pencil that you get like from Crayola. They're definitely softer, and you can dip them in water themselves to get more of an intense color, but I'm just going to color them dry onto the Santorini, and then I'm going to come back with a Waterbrush pen. This cool little tool is a Waterbrush pen, and you unscrew the cap and fill it with water, and then you can squeeze it and water drips out. And this is what I'm going to use to loosen up the color and create the watercolor look. You're going to want to experiment and kind of get used to the amount of water that you use with this, because if you use a lot of water and squeeze out directly onto the stone, it will definitely dissipate the color. So I would recommend starting with less and then adding more as you want to. And you can use the brush to kind of get rid of any of those coloring lines that make it look like you were coloring in a coloring book. Once you hit it with the brush, it kind of loosens those up and creates the watercolor effect. You'll also notice that I'm going to pull some of the color from the inside of the heart to around the heart, and that's because I want there to be kind of a lighter version of each color heart surrounding the heart. So go with me on the process here. It's going to look a little messy until we come back and fix it, but I promise there's a reason why I'm doing this. This purple heart is a really good example of what happens when you add a little bit too much water. You can see that the shape of the heart kind of disappears, and that's okay. We're going to come back and fix it, because you can always come back and add more color as you go, but that's just a good example of what can happen depending on how much water you let out of that brush. You also can use just a regular paintbrush and dip in water. You don't have to have one of these water brush tools. They're just kind of cool. So don't be intimidated if you don't have this. You can dip a regular paintbrush in water and create the same effect. Now I'm going to come back and add a little bit more intensity with the color in the center of the hearts. So I'm just going to color in on the hearts again, and that's going to intensify the shape of the heart and the color of the hearts so that they stand out from kind of that watercolorish background. So you can see that this is really a process, and you can come back and forth until you achieve the look that you want. You might want a very perfect heart with very clear boundaries and not that watercolor background look. So you can do that by creating the intense color with less water, lots of coloring, and you can create that same look. Now now that I've got the hearts where I want them, I'm going to take my Sakura Pigma fine line brush pen and I'm going to create kind of a sketchy heart outline around each of the hearts. So several lines to make it just look simple and sketchy and kind of fit in with that whimsical watercolor look. There's just a little too much white space at the top of this rock, so I'm going to take my Posca PC1MR and I'm going to write Love Wins in a mixture of script and print. And I'm going to come back and thicken up the letters on the script anywhere that the pen was in a downward motion, and then just kind of thicken up the print and add some dots to the word love. And I wasn't completely happy with the way the writing came out, but I'm practicing what I preach and I am embracing the imperfection. If you enjoyed this video, click here to watch another one for some inspiration, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss future uploads and live streams. Thanks so much for stopping by to watch, and I'll see you next time. Take care.